Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to show you right now is how to do peer editing in your various e-portfolios, and also how you can go through and track the work that you've done. So what you'll need to do is get into your portfolio. So go into where our student portfolio is. Now normally what you're going to be asked to do is to go in and do the editing and evaluation of people who appear either above or below you. But when you do peer editing, one of the things you want to look at is in our helpful hints how to do peer editing. Now when you are peer editing the work of others, you want to go through and read through it once, and then as you read through it a second time, you want to go through and make changes to the portfolio by putting stuff in either green, blue, or in red. Now working with stuff in green is when you're going to mark up those things that you think are really good, and it gives that positive feedback that people are looking for. You put things in blue that you think need to be changed, cut, expanded, or clarified. And you can even write your own comments for the writer to consider what he or she might want to change. The only stuff that you put in red are things that are spelling or grammar related. And so you'll go through and you'll actually edit and make these changes to a person's portfolio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to go into a portfolio. So I'm going to go into a student sample to show you what this looks like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the work that's been created by someone else, where they have the link to their Who Am I portfolio, and in this case, not completely done, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through it the first time, read through everything that's there, and now I'm going to go back and choose Edit. And now, because I'm working in Internet Explorer, or remember that you can work in Firefox, but you do need to have the add-in, what you end up having is access to a bunch of tools that allow you to make changes. So for instance, I might look at the first two sentences and realize that I'm using "as nice as it is." It's a great use of rhetorical questions where you ask something but you don't really expect somebody to answer, but I might still put a note that you may not want to use two rhetorical questions in a row. Questions in a row. Right? The story of my life is not for the faint of heart. If somebody told you it was a happy tale, if somebody told you it was about your average guy, not a care in the world, somebody lied. So I might look at this and say, let's see here. If somebody told you, if somebody told you, if somebody told you. Well, the repetition is not that good. And so what I might put a note is put a note in blue. You might want to avoid the repetition. Okay, so let me tell you, a story we're telling is all about a girl. And then I go, cut to first shot of Mary Jane. And I might say, what the heck is this here for? And that might be a note that, why is this here? Okay. Now I might even note in the first bit that you've got the "you sure you want to know?" And I might put that in red because "wanna" is again slang and we want to deal with formal writing, so I don't want to have that there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click OK. That's going to save the changes that I've made, and it's going to show who's done that work. But what I want to do now is I want to actually track the work that I've done. And that's one of the things that we do as a class, is we want to track the changes that we've made to help someone else. So what I end up doing is I go into the history and I go to the part where I've done revisions. And what you can see here is in the history it shows all the times that this document has been changed. What it looked like at the very beginning, how it got revised, over time with a little bit more being added where things were changed and added. In this case, we have stuff in yellow that was added, to where I've done my changes now with all these versions. And I want to keep a memory in my portfolio, a copy of what's here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and right click and copy the shortcut for this exact change, because there might be somebody who comes along and does some editing afterwards and makes more changes. And so then I'm going to go back into my own portfolio. I'm going to go back into my own portfolio. And here, in this case, we already have a place for peer editing, where this person is tracking the work that's been done. In this case, he's done some editing on a Who Am I draft for Bruce. And that's where he's gone through, and Bruce has some stuff there, and Bruce has already put himself in a picture. And so this person has already started to track the various changes with green and noted some things that need to be changed. And so now we're going to track the changes that have been made to the other portfolio. So I'm going to edit. And where I have my section for peer editing, I'm now going to add in, since we have the assignment already noted there that it's the Who Am I second draft, so the Who Am I drafts, I'm going to put in that I've got my next one, which I'm doing Peter. And so I select Peter's name, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste in that hyperlink that I copied. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to have a pop-up window that says, okay, what's the address? And I can right click and paste in, and that's going to be the specific location in memory where I made those changes to that student's work. And so once we've clicked OK, now what I've got is I have a link. When I click on Peter, it doesn't show me what it looks like, it shows me what it looked like when I did my editing. So that's the whole idea of what you want to track. And what's important is when we look at your portfolios, please remember that you have all sorts of helpful hints on how to do peer editing and even how to track your peer editing, so that if you want, you can just look at it with text, which will show you the little bits that you need to do to track it in your portfolio. Or you can always click and watch this video again on your own. Hope that helps. Good luck with your peer editing.